How to buy real estate with credit card. That's the topic for today's episode. And without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Novarise Invest. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is your channel for financial education. So today we're going to talk about how you can actually invest in real estate with a credit card. I know this is something that we've been talking about over and over again for many years. Some people have managed to find out and put the pieces together and make it happen. But some of you are still a little bit confused as to how you can actually buy real estate with a credit card. And I've received a lot of comments from people saying, hey, I personally went to the branch and I asked the teller to see if I can actually buy real estate with credit card, and they told me no. Of course you cannot do it. You have to be a little bit creative with that. So what I decided to do today is to walk you through how I do it and how I invest in real estate using my credit cards. And without further ado, let's just dive in straight into my computer. So here we are inside my computer, and in order to do this, what we need to leverage is a website called Plastiq. I know I've talked about Plastiq for quite some time. For those who are brand new, feel free to check out the videos down in the description box below. That gives you an introduction as to what Plastiq does. So I already logged into my account. I just wanted to show you what the site looks like as soon as you type in plastiq.com. And basically this is what the logon looks like once you're in. And what we need to do first is to create the recipients, right? So we're gonna go over here, and these are some of my vendors on the left, and of course you can't see it because they're blurred out for their privacy. And on the right side you will see the instructions that were provided by the seller as to wiring, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna schedule a wire for the down payment so that we can send the money directly to the title company and they'll hold that down payment deposit. So what we need to do once again is just to hit recipients, and we're gonna go ahead and click the add button right here, and then it's gonna ask you whether you want to add it manually or not. So in my case I want to add them manually, and then who do I want to pay, and that's where I'm gonna go ahead and just type in the name. So once you type in the name, you're gonna hit on create new recipient and then continue. And then it's gonna ask you how you wanna do that, whether it's by paper check, ACH, or wire transfer. In this case, we wanna do wire transfer, and it's telling you the fee. Domestic wires is $40, international wires is about $60. Usually, depending on the bank, they could probably charge you roughly about $25 per wire transfer. I'm not entirely sure how much each bank can charge for international wires, but in this case, I find it to be a very competitive pricing, even though it's slightly higher, but we're using credit cards. We're not using our own savings, we're not using our own cash, so this is a great way to be able to pull money out of your credit card and still be able to leverage the 0% rate. The only bank that will not allow you to do that anymore is if you have a Chase card. So any Chase card, it's unfortunately treating any transactions through Plastiq as a regular purchase. Therefore, your 0% will not be applicable, and you are going to have to pay the regular rate. However, if you do get a little bit more creative, you can always use your Chase card, make the payments, and then do a balance transfer into another credit card that offers you the 0%, right? So now let's just hit continue. And you're going to start adding the information that is required. In this case, they're going to ask for the wire routing number and then the account number. Then in this case, they're going to ask you for the contact information. So you're going to enter those right here, and their phone number. And then once you enter all the proper information, you just hit continue, and then they're gonna ask you for the primary address of where the money's been sent to, and that should be provided to you by the seller or the title agency who's handling the closing. So you go ahead and you're just gonna type it in. And then once you have everything in there, you just hit continue once again. And now we're gonna move on to step 6, and it's asking you what type of goods or services are the vendor providing. So you can just, pick whatever category makes the most sense for you. So in my case, it would be professional services because they're providing something that is professional. and then management and consulting, because they're managing the closing and stuff like that. So then you hit continue, and voila, that's what you end up with. You now have a recipient created, and what you need to do now is just to go ahead and hit payment and make sure you have either one of these credit cards. I'm sure everybody has a Visa, everybody has a MasterCard, and to some degree an Amex and a Discover card. So we're gonna go ahead and make a payment, and then I'm gonna hit continue, and then I'm gonna type in the amount. So in this case, it's a down payment of that much money. And then at this point in time, you should have a couple of credit cards saved already. So you're going to choose one from the drop down, whichever one you wanted to use for this particular transaction. And if you don't, then you can come here and add a new payment method. And then you can add a credit card, a bank account, whichever, works out best for you. So I'm just going to go back. In my case, I already have the cards set up. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my credit card. And then they usually give you a warning. Like I said, if you have a Chase card, they usually have certain limitations with it. But in this case, it works out for me. I don't care that they have a limitation because, like I said, I know I have the funds. So that's great. And then you add a memo, whatever memo you want to use. And then the invoice number or the memo, you feel free to add whatever you feel that is more appropriate for the seller to know. What are you sending the money for, or who's the money coming from? And once you enter that information, you're going to go ahead and click on continue once again. And then it's going to ask you, how soon do you want this to be delivered? And obviously I want it delivered ASAP. So I'm just going to make it arrive by today if possible. And then they ask you a copy of the invoice. So we'll go ahead and just do the invoice. And then you drag and drop a copy of your invoice. And then just hit continue. And they're going to ask you to confirm what the fees are, the total, and just move on. And once you verify that all the information is accurate, you're going to go ahead and just hit and submit payment. And there you go. Here's a confirmation. It shows you a payment ID, when it was sent to, and voila, it's just that simple. Now you're done with the wire. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. Hopefully you guys found the episode very valuable and informative. And while I still have you here, do not forget to check this episode right here. That's going to help you complement pretty much everything you just learned today. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.